Have you ever read a story on Reddit and realized you know the person in real life? What happened? Yes. We were telling our dog Walker about this crazy story from Reddit of a guy who was in the big Boston blizzard that had just happened and ran out of this rare drug used to help with organ transplants, and someone on Reddit helped him by giving him some of their same rare organ transplant drug. And he was like, "That was me." Reply, "Wow, see mum, Reddit can make me famous." Yes. I told a story of when I broke my ankle skating and one of the other roller derby girls in my team commented. We used to chat through Reddit a bit as I didn't skate anymore, but then last year she died suddenly in her sleep. I still have her messages and I feel weird seeing all the comments and stuff she made knowing she's gone now. Just sad. Yes, technically I don't know for sure, but I have a damn good feeling. About a month or so ago a guy posted a thing saying his girlfriend believes she is a cat. He went on to explain their relationship and all her quirks and whatnot. The more I read, the more it sounded like this girl I had a really complicated relationship with some years ago. Everything matched, even her age. At one point she said something about wanting to quit her job and live full-time as a cat, and I swear to God this girl I knew once said the same thing to me. The girl I knew even used to meow and mew like a cat. I reached out to Op to see if we lived in the same area, to find out if it was in fact her, because if so I was gonna warn him about the fact that she was very emotional, abusive and manipulative, but he never answered. I'm still fairly certain it's her though. Reply, I read this post too. Thought it was so bizarre, it must have been fake. Maybe not according to this reply? Wow, this world. Yes, I'm like 95% sure I stumbled across my manager's Reddit account a couple months ago. There were numerous points in a post I read that lined up perfectly with things he had been talking about at work for a couple of weeks beforehand, and the word use and tone matched his speaking pretty perfectly, not to mention the account name was fitting. It was super weird reading through the post and having this slow realization that it was him. I didn't mention it to him, this kind of knowledge is too powerful. Reply, with great power comes great responsibility. Use it wisely. Reply, and, for this question, great responsibility. Reply, all the managers on Reddit's buttholes just collectively clenched. Edit, my highest karma in 8 years of being on Reddit is on a comment about buttholes that may or may not be grammatically incorrect. I've cracked the code. Reply, I didn't know Reddit's buttholes had managers. Yes, the reverse happened to me. About 2 years ago I was diagnosed with precancerous cells in my cervix, which simply put translates to I didn't have cancer yet but was going to if it wasn't handled. Thank God they found it early. I posted on Reddit for a while during the whole ordeal because I wanted to reach out to others who had gone through the same thing and learn more about the procedures, etc. Anyway, one day a friend came over and randomly asked me about it. Immediately I was confused because I hadn't told anyone about it other than my mum and SO. He kind of laughed, kind of apologized, and said he had found my Reddit and read my posts about the whole thing. Like, even my replies to comments and stuff. Lots of honest and detailed things. I mean, it wasn't a huge deal, but it was a little awkward at the time. Yes, I came across someone I knew from high school. We weren't friends or anything, but he was a nice enough guy. Him and his wife had lost something like 100 pounds. Combined. I was happy for him. Reply, I enjoy the stories of people bettering themselves. That would be cool to randomly see one from someone I know. Thanks. Yes, some idiot that I was seeing briefly years ago kept mentioning Reddit and certain subs, so I started browsing because it sounded interesting. Came across a post that was undoubtedly him, had his car in it and wording only he'd use. I was just about to text him, found your Reddit profile. When I clicked on his username just to find a post complaining about my leg hair and saying that I don't shut up quickly enough when he interrupts me. I shut up real quick when he never heard from me again. Reply, did you date Big Ed from 90 Day Fiancé? Reply, TLC really struck gold with 90 Day Fiancé and most people stuck at home. I'm almost done watching 90 Day Fiancé, the other way. Excited to start 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, or whatever that one called lol. Reply, my dad is a neurophysiologist and by far the smartest person I have ever encountered. He has one vice, 90 Day Fiancé. We're from Eastern Europe so I chalk it up to the foreign connection, but it still makes me smile whenever I think about it. Reply, in grad school I was big into studying television narratives as literature, papers on color symbolism in Breaking Bad, and the like. 90DF started off as my ironic trash TV fave and now is my totally non-ironic trash TV fave. It's dumb but it straight up feeds into that human desire to be a fly on the wall in someone else's dysfunctional relationship. It is TV gold and I love it. Reply, yikes. I break out in a cold sweat sometimes thinking someone at work or something will go, found your Reddit profile. I thought your story was going to end worse than it did. There's nothing super incriminating about my Reddit since I try not to say anything I wouldn't in person to someone, but just imagining someone looking through my random interests is creepy. The thing is, I have a very specific job and I post on the sub for it. It's a small world. I've found someone else's Reddit username by accident before. Once in a while I psych myself out and think I'll just start over with a new Reddit account. Just a week ago I posted in my city sub, "There are millions of people in LA, that's safe enough, right?" A random story about making jam in 6th grade, and literally someone else commented saying they did the same thing. Did we go to the same elementary school? Turns out we did, and even had the same teacher, just different years. What are the chances? It was cool but kind of weird 2D. Yes, I was browsing the sub for my city and saw an interesting post. I looked at the username and recognized it as an ex-coworker because the username is the same one they use on Instagram. Out of curiosity I looked to see what else they have posted and found out that they are really into taking shrooms. Never would have guessed it. This person was so straight-laced and by the book when we worked together. I was really surprised. Yes, saw a screenshot of this tweet, and in the photo was this guy, the first recognized as a customer from the arcade I used to work at. He has no arms, this is relevant, and was decked out in Sonic clothes. I think his t-shirt said something like Sonic for women's rights maybe? Everyone I worked with knew him. He was really nice and amazing at playing Guitar Hero with his feet. All the comments were saying, "Where's his arms?" and making fun of the Sonic outfit. Made me sad cause he's so nice. Yes, in my town a toddler escaped from his daycare and was wandering down the middle of a busy road. He was found by a local worker, after hearing multiple people honking as they drove around the kid. I posted to my town subreddit asking what the fuck was wrong with our town that no one stopped. I got a beer with another dad and he brought up the story he read in Reddit, which I had posted. I said, "Hey, that was me," but the conversation just kept going. I don't think he heard. Reply, I remember being at a birthday party at a cabin above a lake with my then 2-year-old daughter. We were there because it was my sister's friend's daughter's party and I currently lived with my sister. I spent hours chasing my daughter around the place and everyone thought it was cute, right up to the point where I was screaming my head off for someone to catch her before she went over the edge of the cliff while I was trying to dodge through a sea of adults, and not one person stopped smiling at us before she went over the edge. I snatched her by the straps of her dress and she was dangling over the edge of a 2+ story drop-off. I was so upset and angry I locked us in the cabin for the rest of the day. Reply, herd mentality is a real thing. Because of my above comment, I always try to be the first to spring into action now. We live very close to the beach. I was there a year or so ago and a man in the water was having trouble swimming. The people closest to him were calling for help. I was halfway from them to the lifeguard tower and I scooped my daughter up and took off screaming down the beach, telling the people in front of me to get to the tower. Yet again, nothing but stares. Bless the lifeguard though, they did their job and got the man out of the water in time. I'm sharing these stories because I want to urge anyone who reads them to not get caught up in the gawking when their time to witness something like this happens. Be quick people, you could save a life. Reply, one very important thing they teach you in CPR class is to tell a specific person to call 911 or do something like get more help, and not just say, "Someone call 911, because no one will. Pointing directly at them and saying the color of their shirt or a distinguishing feature is what works best. Yes, soon after a wedding where I was in the wedding party and knew the wife WAAAAY better than I knew the husband, I found the husband on Reddit. He was so wholesome. I knew I liked him, and that they were a good match, but that was just an extra layer of being happy for the wife for finding someone like that to be in her life. Reply, nice to see this did not go the way I was expecting. That first paragraph, so ominous. Reply, right? I was like, oh god, what did he put in his butt? Reply, the internet has ruined us.